They say some mysteries survive not because they're unsolved, but because they don't want to be solved. And for more than 200 years, the small, quiet island off the coast of Nova Scotia has guarded a secret so powerful, so dangerous, so impossibly deep that people have spent entire lifetimes chasing it. Money lost, lives lost, generations destroyed, all for the promise of a treasure so big, so mythical, that some believe it could rewrite history itself. This is the strange, relentless, and haunting mystery of Oak Island, a place that refuses to give up its truth. Our story begins in 1795. A young teenager named Daniel McGinnis rows across the water toward the island. Something draws him there. Some say curiosity, others say fate. He walks through the woods until he reaches a clearing, and then he sees it, a perfectly round depression in the ground, almost like someone dug a deep hole and then covered it again. Above the depression, a large oak tree stands with a thick branch stretching out over the center, and attached to it, a rusted pulley. McGinnis knows instantly, this isn't natural. Someone dug here. Someone lowered something deep into the ground, and whatever it was, they didn't want it found. He brings two friends back the next day, and together they start digging. Just a few feet down, they find something that shouldn't be there. A neatly placed layer of flat stones, not local to the island, not natural, placed, purposeful, engineered. They dig deeper. At 10 feet, they hit wooden planks. At 20 feet, more planks. At 30 feet, more. Each layer perfectly spaced, as if marking levels of some kind of underground structure. The boys keep digging until the work becomes too much for them, and the mystery of the money pit, as it soon became known, begins. Over the next century, teams of treasure hunters come to Oak Island, each one convinced they'll be the one to solve it. But the deeper they go, the stranger things become. The first major team digs down about 90 feet and finds a flat stone covered with strange carvings. Nothing like they have ever seen before. The symbols are not English, not French, not any known code at the time. When experts later examine it, they claim the message reads, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. Treasure, massive treasure. Enough gold to make nations rise and fall. But when the team digs further, something impossible happens. Suddenly the pit begins to flood. Water rushes in from underground tunnels. Tunnels no one knew existed. No matter how fast they pump it out, the water comes back. Someone built a trap, a sophisticated engineered water booby-trap designed to protect whatever lies below. But here's the part that still terrifies researchers today. Those flood tunnels weren't simple holes. They were built from the shore, extending hundreds of feet, reinforced with layers of rock, clay, and coconut fiber, a material not native to Nova Scotia. Someone transported that fiber from thousands of miles away, someone with incredible engineering knowledge, and they built a system that floods the pit exactly like a self-resetting security device. Treasure hunters try everything. Pumps, explosives, new shafts. Nothing works. Every time they get close, the island pushes them back, and that's when people start to die. The first death comes in 1861 when a pump boiler explodes, killing a worker instantly. Then another man is crushed underground, then another drowns, and then in 1965, a team of workers descends into a shaft to check the progress of a dig. One man collapses suddenly, another climbs down to help, collapses, a third goes down, collapses, and by the time rescue crews arrive, 5 men are dead. Poison gas, or maybe something else. A curse is born, a belief that 7 people must die before the treasure will be found. To this day, 6 treasure hunters have died. One more, according to the legend, remains. But beyond deaths and myths, the island reveals something even stranger. Artifacts, out of place, out of time. Researchers find coconut fibers buried deep underground, not from Canada, not from North America. Coconut fiber is common in the tropics, thousands of miles away. Someone transported it across the ocean, centuries before anyone should have been able to. Then comes something even harder to explain, a buried layer of charcoal exactly matching carbon dating patterns used by ancient Mediterranean cultures. And then, even deeper, fragments of parchment, actual parchment, buried inside the money pit, some with faint writing on them, parchment that predates the earliest explorers of the region. How does parchment from the Middle Ages end up under an island in Canada? Some believe the Knights Templar, Europe's most powerful secret order, fled across the ocean with their treasure, their documents, their sacred relics, and hid them in the New World. The Templars had the engineering skills, they had the ships, and they had the motivation. The treasure of the Templars is rumored to include religious artifacts, ancient documents, sacred relics, even the Holy Grail. Others believe the island hides the lost manuscripts of Shakespeare, or the French crown jewels, or evidence of pre-Columbian explorers who crossed the Atlantic long before Columbus. But no theory is as chilling as the one discovered in the mid-1900s. Treasure hunters using drilling equipment extract tiny samples from deep underground. At a depth of more than 150 feet, they pull up metal, not iron, not copper, but gold. Traces of gold from a deep, hidden chamber. When they drill again, they recover fragments of a wooden chest and what looks like old parchment written on with quill ink. If true, that means a treasure chest, a real one, lies buried deep beneath the engineered traps. Now the mystery intensifies. Modern exploration teams bring sonar, ground-penetrating radar, high-powered drills, and the island begins revealing more secrets. They discover underground chambers, tunnels, layers of stone that resemble man-made platforms. Something is down there, something huge, but the island keeps fighting back. Flooding pits, collapse hazards, toxic gases, equipment failures. Every time someone gets close, the island resets, and then things get even weirder. In the swamp at the center of the island, researchers find a perfectly triangular man-made shape buried under the mud. Something constructed deliberately, something ancient. Then divers exploring the swamp discover wooden planks, hand-cut, arranged in a pattern that could only mean one thing. Someone built a structure there, hundreds of years before the island was mapped. But the biggest shock comes when a diver retrieves a strange object from the swamp, a lead cross. Old, very old, and shaped in a style nearly identical to crosses found at ancient Templar sites in Europe. If the cross is genuine, and experts believe it is, it means someone connected to the Knights Templar stood on Oak Island centuries before modern explorers ever knew it existed. But the island still holds its deepest secrets underground. In 2019, a new scan reveals something massive beneath the money pit area, a rectangular void, perfectly shaped, perfectly symmetrical, like a vault. Whatever is inside that void remains untouched because the traps still work, the flood tunnels still function, the maze still protects its secret. And then comes one final disturbing detail. For years, treasure hunters believed the stone with strange carvings. The one reading 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried, was simply a warning or instructions. But new research suggests something darker. The stone might not be a warning at all. It might be a map, a cipher, a guide to a deeper chamber that has never been reached. And if that's true, then everything found so far, the cross, the metals, the parchment, the tunnels, might be just the first layer. Some researchers now believe the real treasure might lie 200 feet below the original pit, a vault untouched, undisturbed, guarded by the most complex booby traps ever discovered in North America. So the question remains, who built it, and what were they trying to hide? Some say it's the Templar treasure, some say it's ancient knowledge, some say it's proof of prehistoric contact between civilizations, and some believe it's something far more powerful, something humanity was never meant to find. The island, after 2 centuries of digging, drilling, flooding, dying, still whispers the same message it did in 1795. There is something buried here, and it's not ready to be found. The truth about Oak Island isn't just a treasure, it's a warning. And maybe, just maybe, The mystery remains unsolved because whatever lies beneath that island was never meant